In this video, we have an exciting tutorial for you on the powerful let function. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see how let can simplify and supercharge your formulas. So, let's dive right in. Alright, let's start with our example data table. Here in column B, we have a list of IDs, and in column C, we have corresponding values. The IDs might repeat, and our goal is to create a summary table where each unique ID is listed once with all its corresponding values spread across the row. Sounds interesting, right? Our main objective is to transform this data into a summary table, where each unique ID from column B has its values from column C listed horizontally. Now, that's where the let function comes in handy. Let function allows us to define variables and reuse them within a formula, making complex formulas easier to read and more efficient. First, we'll start by defining our variables using the let function. Here's our initial setup. We define ID as the ranges from B3 to B12, and val as the range C3 to C12. This helps us reference these ranges easily throughout our formula. Next, we need to identify all unique IDs from our ID range. I will define a name as UID, and then we use the unique function, and with UID, we can extract all unique IDs from our ID column. To determine the number of columns we'll need, we calculate the maximum count of occurrences for any single unique ID. Similar to unique, I will assign a name variable as max col, then we can achieve this with the max and COUNTIFS functions. To define both criteria range and criteria arguments, select the ID range. It will return the number of occurrences of each ID. This finds the maximum number of times any ID appears with max col name, ensuring we have enough columns for the widest dataset. To enhance the readability of the let formula, we can write each function in a separate line by pressing Alt and Enter key from your keyboard. Now, we need to structure our data dynamically. For this, we use the REDUCE function combined with LAMBDA to iterate over each unique ID and organize the values. For example, if I want to do a running total, I will just assign an initial value, let's say 0 for this instant. Then I will add this number to it. If I copy down the formula, I will get the running total of 80. If we use the Excel REDUCE function, let's assign the initial value as 0, but we can assign any value as initial value based on the requirements. Then my array is the data range, basically the values we need to look through. Comma, then we have the lambda function. So, in this lambda function you're going to have two variables, one of them is going to be that initial value that's gonna keep changing. So basically this, a, comma, and then we have a second value, which is gonna be basically each row in this array. So I'm just gonna call it r. Next, I will add this to variable and close parentheses. And hit enter. You will get the final value as 80. Instead of doing this whole thing, we just get one formula that does all of it. There it is, so the reason is called reduce. Now, here's where it gets really cool. We're going to use the REDUCE function to iterate over our unique IDs and build our summary table. Don't worry, I will walk you through it. The REDUCE function starts with an initial value, which in this case is our header row built using hstack and sequence function. Here, hstack creates a horizontal stack with ID and a sequence of numbers up to max col. This forms our header row. Next, the REDUCE function has to iterate the unique ID, which is UID. Next, as we discussed in our earlier running total example, REDUCE function then iterates over each unique ID from UID. For each iteration, it uses a lambda function to stack the current results with new rows. Hence, in this lambda function, you're going to have two variables. One of them is going to be that initial value, that is our header, x, and comma, and then we have a second value, which is gonna be basically each row in this unique ID. So, I'm just gonna call it r, and then finally, after this comma, once you have that changing variable, x, you have each row value. From here you can do your calculation. In the lambda function, x is our accumulating result, and r is the current unique ID. We use filter to get all values corresponding to the current ID and convert him to a row using to-row function. Then, we horizontally stack the ID and its values using hstack, and vertically stack this new row to our accumulating result using vstack function. So, I am continue to complete my lambda function by using filter to extract the values corresponding the unique IDs. Each time, close the parenthesis carefully to complete each steps in the let function. To avoid mistakes in the brackets, it's strongly recommended to use multiple line formulas. If the value is empty, the formula will return the error values. To eliminate error values, we can apply the IFERROR function. Finally, we wrap the whole reduce function. And there you have it. This let function formula transforms our original data into a summary table where each unique ID is listed once with its corresponding values spread across the row. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for future tutorials. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.